Geek Vibes Live is rated G for geek.
Awesome. Hey, Dom.
Cool. Hey. So, welcome, Jared, and everyone listening to another episode of Geek Vibes Interview. I'm your host, Dom, and today I have writer, producer, director, actor, Jared Cohn, and I hope I pronounced that correctly.
You did. A lot of people add an extra E, Cohen. But yeah, you got it right, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and we appreciate your time, man. And he is here to talk about his new movie, Street Survivors, the true story of the Lynyrd Skynyrd Plane Crash. So I guess I want to start off with how did you taking control of the story come about?
Yeah, it's interesting. The Artemis Fowl, the drummer of Lynyrd Skynyrd, the original Lynyrd Skynyrd, not the band today, not the tribute band today, is signed to Cleopatra Records, who produced the movie. So it kind of came like that. It came about like that. And Brian, who's at Cleopatra Records, the CEO, was great friends with Artemis. And Artemis was on the plane that crashed. He was in the original band. So we all got to talking and say, hey, wouldn't it be cool to do a movie about the plane crash? No one's ever done a movie. And we have one of the few remaining survivors, and so we all linked up, we discussed it, and we got to working on the script, and I got a lot of time I spent a lot of time with Artemis, who's a great guy. I mean, amazing drummer, this guy's a rock and roll Hall of Famer drummer, and we have him in the movie. And just what a fantastic story. I mean, the guy, he's playing drums in sold out stadiums. Next thing you know, he's on a plane that crashes into and survives. So, and then you got the whole Lynyrd Skynyrd, all the great songs and music of Lynyrd Skynyrd that created this great story.
Yeah, and I think what was unique about this film was the way that it was told. Because very often we get, biopics about musicians or bands, and there's always that kind of question of whether or not some of the events took place or how authentic the information is. But you actually had Artemis, in the film himself speaking and kind of adding context to certain situations, and it seemed like that's one of the things I appreciated about it, because there was no me guessing whether or not some of this stuff was factual, because you have a guy who was there telling the story, helping tell the story.
Yeah, no, exactly, and that was important. That I wanted him in there because there's been so many contradictions. People have called him a liar. So this guy said he didn't do that. He didn't really get shot. He ran away scared, and so to address exactly what you said, to address all the people that said other things happened, we put the real guy in there. And then at the end of the day, nobody can point a finger at me, the director, and saying, oh, I made the lies up. It's like, no, actually, the guy who's in the movie is the real guy. So, don't point your finger at me,
Are you a fan of the music? Did that add to like a layer of kind of excitement to doing this project?
Oh yeah, I mean, these guys are just rock and roll. Some of their songs they just hit. I mean, most of them are just fantastic. Some of them are just incredible. There's not really a bad Lynyrd Skynyrd song. I mean, there's songs that I like better, and there's songs that are like hits, commercially. But I mean, all in all, like every song they put out is really well done. From the musicality standpoint.
Yeah, and I think it's there's always a weird mystique around when artists pass too soon from freak accidents, and it always adds to some kind of lore of conspiracy theories and things of that sort. And I had heard about the plane crash, but I wasn't even born when it happened, so everything I heard was secondhand, reading on the internet. So yeah, to see it actually happen, especially when it gets to the plane crash, it's a lot more intense than I expected. It was really done well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that means a lot. Thank you. As a filmmaker, it's always good to hear that. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, when you're on a plane and it runs out of gas, and you're still on that plane, it's a dicey situation. So I kind of, I wanted to put the audience, take them out of the audience, put them into the plane as much as I can, and let them sort of experience, that descent for a bit. Because I mean, if you're on a plane, if you're going down, you're going down, and you're probably going to die. I mean, that's dicey.
Yeah. Was there anything that was particularly difficult while making this film? Because I know, like, making a story like this, you might have, like, family members of some of the other band members trying to get you not to make it or make sure you get things correct. Or is there anything that was particularly difficult in you trying to get the story done the right way?
Yeah, I mean, the widow of the lead singer, Judy Vanzant, she had actually sued us and won, and the movie was illegal. She got the movie to be banned for a little bit, so that was really difficult, and then she was being really evil about it. Yeah, like, took us to court, federal court, sued us, spent millions of dollars, and won. And then we, of course, appealed the decision because, she was wrong, and then we won, and then we had her decision overturned. So, yeah, she was definitely hating on the movie. I don't even think she saw the movie, but it was a whole two court cases and, depositions and blah, 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 blah. But, yeah, so that was difficult. She created a lot of stress in my life that I could have done without,
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I would think that, you want the story told. I mean, there's one thing to have a story written about, but for people to kind of see, like, it was a happy time and they were on the up and up with career-wise, and, it was unfortunate, but you want people to know the story, be able to see the story, contextualize everything. So, yeah, I don't know why she would want to stop it from happening.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think for her, like, she's such a control freak. And, the fact that, we had actually tried to get, some, them to kind of get behind it and whatever. And be like, hey, we could all, like, add more elements to the movie and make it, big, show this but she was, she wanted to try to have it her, she's a control freak, and then when you kind of takes, a little bit of control, someone like that's hand, they freak out, and, water under the bridge for me, God bless her.
So to get more particular with you, according to, IMDB, you have, like 37 director credits, and I believe like 37 acting credits and writing credits. What aspect of the business is your favorite?
I love directing. I love directing. I love acting. If it's a cool role, I haven't acted in quite some time now, in like a good role. Yeah, I would love to do another acting role. I mean, I love directing. Producing is I'm getting much more into producing, and I really like that. I really like producing because you have the control, you have the power. You call the shots. When you get hired to direct, you get the job, you do the job, job's over, you go home, then you're out of, you're unemployed. You need another job.
Right.
Same thing with acting. But if you're producing, that means you got the power. You can, okay, I'm going to produce this film. Okay, you know what? I'm going to produce, this film's over, I'm going to produce another film. And then I'm going to produce 5 more films after. And at the same time, you can, as a producer director, you can say, I'm going to produce this film and I'm going to direct this film. And then I'm going to do that 5 more times this year.
Right.
So I'm trying to, I'm getting more into that direction because you just, it sucks going from job to job and then not knowing where your next job is going to be. I mean, that's the freelance life. I've been living that for like 20 plus years, but I'm pivoting.
Right, and I believe before Street Survivors, I believe the last movie I watched of yours was Devil's Revenge last year.
Yeah.
which was really a really cool story. And I noticed a lot of your films are more in the horror genre or like the almost thriller action type. Would you say that's kind of an accurate thing?
That is accurate, and I appreciate you saying thriller action as well. I really do, because a lot of people say, are like, oh, you're just a horror guy, and I'm like, no, I do other stuff. It's, 'cause I don't like to be nobody likes to be pigeonholed, right?
Right,
like you're just this guy, that guy. But I really, thank you so much for saying thriller and action, because yes, I do I do thrillers, I do action. I've done a comedy, done a drama, but I don't like to. I mean, have I done a bunch of horror movies? Absolutely, and I'm proud of that. But I have more stories to tell. There's a lot of great screenplays and stories that I think would make for great movies. And I'm not saying, oh, I have this one story I'm so super passionate to tell. That may come, and I do have stories that I feel about that, of real life stories of real people that have lived these, amazing lives, or at least have had something incredible happen to them that I would think would make fantastic movies. And there's so many of them. And there's so many great books and stories. But a great story is a great story. Whether 100 people get killed, it's a war movie, or if it's a love story and you got 2 people star-crossed lovers, or a comedy, that's a great story. Like, it doesn't matter like what genre it is. It's a great story is a great story.
For sure, and that was one of the things I was thinking of. After watching Street Survivors, I was like, okay, I like the way that he did this. I wonder if there's any other, artist, biopic, whether it be a musician or be like an actor, because we've all heard these crazy, music industry stories and crazy Hollywood stories, and the way that this one was set up, I was like, I wonder if he'd be down to do some other ones, because I think there's a big, gap of those stories not being out as much. We hear them through podcasts and stuff like that, but we don't see them in film form very often. And usually when we see them, everybody loves them, but then they're kind of few and far between.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I mean, there's so many bands, so many. It'd be like crazy to. I mean, I think that's the studio. That's like major studios, that they made Bohemian Rhapsody and Elton John. But I mean, why? And there's been a lot of independent biopics put out there, and I mean, sometimes there are. Sometimes these movies get made and just nobody sees them. And I mean, that may be the case with this Leonard. I mean, maybe nobody will see this movie, and then people will ask, "Oh, wouldn't it be cool if someone made a Lynyrd Skynyrd movie?" You just never know. Like some movies, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's so much content out there, and that's another thing. Like things just get lost, and it could be a great movie. It could be a great. I watched this great movie the other night, and I was like, "Wow, this is really cool." And then I was like, "Is this new?" And it came out like a few years ago, and I was like, "Oh, wow, can't believe I never heard of this." And then you just, things just. There's so much content. You go on like Apple TV or Roku or whatever, and you're just scrolling. Now it's just going page after page, and that's just what's on the featured home channel. Like, and then you start searching, and there's so much content. It's like it never ending. You could spend your entire life continuing to watch the in front of it, and you would die, and you would not have watched it all.
Right, and that's one of the things I've been pushing, especially now during this whole Corona thing. People keep asking, "Oh, when the theaters are going to open back up?" And I'm like, look, if you go video on demand, there is a lot of great movies, and you just gotta like take that chance to pay that. And I feel like people have this weird gap of like, okay, I'll pay for it in the theaters, but don't want to pay for it at home, which is kind of weird to me. But because I live in the South, so like Lynyrd Skynyrd is giant down here. I mean, you can't go a summer without hearing Freebird rolling down the street. So I definitely think that this it'll get good traction, at least where I'm at. But I'm with you. Like, there's so much content out there, that you can never watch it all. I just think people don't know exactly where to go as far as like new releases that are like video on demand, especially now because they're not used to that. But that's the main thing I've been trying to push to people. Like every podcast I've done, like, hey, there's plenty of movies. I've been watching them. Go ahead, like.
Yeah, no, there's no shortage. People, the old model, I think, is sort of, going a little. People want to go out and see movies, but it's a different. Yeah, it's like some movies. The new movies coming out, they're $19.99 a rent, and then there's other movies like $4.99, $3.99. It's like I can understand not wanting to pay $19.99 like you would pay at a theater to watch at home, but if it's a brand new release, then pay what you feel. I don't know, not going. It's a tough thing to say because I go on Amazon. I wanted to watch. What was that? The King of Staten Island. And I paid $20 to watch it. It just came out in theaters. And I was like, oh, well, am I going to pay $20 to watch this movie at home? But I've been hearing about it. Like it was a movie that I would have seen in the movie theaters. So I did. Right. I paid the $20. So I was like, you know what? I'm a filmmaker. Out of respect to, and I didn't feel bad. The movie wasn't as what I kind of thought it was going to be like, so to speak. But whatever. You know what? It was well done and well acted, and I'd rather give my $20 to some, even though it's probably a bigger studio or whatnot. I support supporting the entertainment industry. We got AMC's going out of business, and all these movie theaters are going out of business. So, not like my $20 is really going to go a long way, but things are definitely changing because of the virus.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of threw everything out of whack in a weird way.
Yeah.
So what do you? I know you probably have some upcoming projects. I know I see one that says Her Deadly Groom, the TV movie that's going to be released in August, and then you have one that's in post-production, Good Friday.
Her Deadly Groom, yes, that's coming out August 8th. That will be coming out on Lifetime Television. That was the one I produced and directed. Good Friday, that got put on hold. Yeah, that actually needs to get taken down from IMDB. That may return, but there were some, I think, some financial hiccups or whatever. But yes, Her Deadly Groom is coming out. I got a shark movie coming out. But yeah, Lynyrd Skynyrd, that's kind of what I'm focused on, and having some projects being whipped together right now as well, some additional stuff.
Nice. So yeah, everybody needs to watch this Lynyrd Skynyrd Street Survivors. It's a story that we've all heard whispers of, but to see it contextualized in this way, it kind of makes, every band member that, especially like this lead singer, it kind of gives them a realness that, unless you saw them in person, you might not have experienced them as an actual person. So we get to see the personality, we get to see, how close they were. Because we can all assume before seeing this how they were, but seeing it kind of adds that level of realness that wasn't there before, at least for myself.
Yeah, I'm good. Definitely tune in, everybody. People, if they want to check it out, I think you'll be able to get to see a little bit of insight.
For sure. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
No. I think I really appreciate you having me on. No, I think that's it, man. Just check out the Lynyrd Skynyrd movie. Please tell everybody Lynyrd Skynyrd, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Lynyrd Skynyrd. Rock and roll, free bird. Shout out Cleopatra Entertainment, Cleopatra Records, making movies. Lynyrd Skynyrd.
For sure, man. We appreciate you stopping by and volunteering some time for us. And yeah, man, it's a great movie, and hopefully, we can chop it up again some other time when you have another movie coming out. But yeah, man, I appreciate you.
Thank you, man. But you too. Have a great day, man. Good to talk to you. Thank you so much.
You too, man. See you.
All right, take it. Bye bye.